In this video, we're going to learn about some of the properties of math. So these are your 1L notes math properties. I'm going to give you a quick definition of each one of the properties, and then we'll look at some examples with them. So our first property is called the associative property, and that property says that no matter how the numbers are grouped, the sum or product will always be the same. So this looks like if I have 9 plus 7 in parentheses, and then I add 8, that will equal the same as if I add 9 plus 7 plus 8 in parentheses. So this is the quantity 9 plus 7 plus 8 is the same as 9 plus the quantity 7 plus 8. And so this works for addition and it works for multiplication. It would not work for subtraction or division. The next one we have then is the commutative property. And this says no matter how the numbers are ordered, no matter what order they're in, the sum or product will always be the same. And again, it's important to remember that we're talking about addition or multiplication, not subtraction or division. So an example of this is if I did 9 plus 7, that would be equal to 7 plus 9. These would give you the same sum. The same thing would be true with multiplication. The identity property of addition says that any number added to 0 is always equal to the original number. And the nice thing about these properties is you already know these things to be true. It's just that you need to memorize which property goes with which name. And so this looks like this. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So anything plus 0 will give you the original number. The identity property of multiplication then is similar. For multiplication, any number multiplied by 1 is always equal to the original number. So we know that. We can't use 0 here because any number multiplied by 0 is 0. All right. So 2 times 1 equals 2. Any number we multiplied by 1 gives us the original number back. Now, the inverse property of addition, we've been using this with solving our algebraic equations. And this says that adding a number to its opposite or inverse, remember inverse is just a synonym for opposite, will always equal 0. In other words, if we have 1 and we add a -1 or we subtract 1, we'll get 0. So if we add a number to its opposite, we're going to get 0. Now the distributive property is a little confusing when you hear the definition, and it'll make a little more sense when we see some of our examples. But this says that multiplying a number to a sum is the same as multiplying the number by each of the addends, then adding the products together. So we're talking about something that looks like this. 2 times 1 plus 7 is going to be equal to, so this is multiplying 2 times the sum 1 plus 7. It's going to be equal to, if we took this 2 and distributed it to the 1 and the 7 first, so that it looked like this, 2 times 1 plus 2 times 7. So all I've done is taken the 2 and multiplied it by the 1 before I added the 1 plus 7, and 2 and multiplied it by the 7 before I added the 1 plus 7. So 2 times 1 plus 2 times 7 is going to be the same answer as adding 1 plus 7 and then multiplying by 2. And so the outside number, the number outside the parentheses, is distributed or passed out to the numbers, both of the numbers inside the parentheses. And so if we worked each one of these problems out, we would see that we would get the same answer no matter how you looked at it. All right, in our next video, we'll look at some more examples.